Travis Wayne Goodsell. I check lots of different news sources so that I don't get stuck with one source for all my news. And I came across TYT talking over the weekend about scientists having found ancient strains of viruses in the ice, and of course they're greatly concerned as to how that'll affect humans when those viruses are released into the earth after all these millennia. The last ice age was a long time ago. And we of course are witnessing lots of diseases and viruses that began in America with the anti-vaxxer propaganda, where people were spreading misinformation and disinformation about vaccines, that they cause autism, that all sorts of other problems are involved if you get regular vaccines that all of us receive as babies. Even the University of Utah, when I attended in 2004, they canceled my ability to sign up for classes until I had gotten shots that they claimed their scientists and their scientists alone have determined are necessary as a precaution for those who were born before 75-ish, somewhere around there. And so I had to get shots. And of course, the test results, they informed me, because I put up a fuss. I had all my shots as a kid, except for the hemoglobin one. They stopped doing those. And of course, the conspiracy back in those days was that the hemoglobin shot was implanting little tracking devices in people. And thus came X-Files. But they'd stopped it when I was born. But I was all vaccinated, and I'm perfectly healthy. I've gotten my DNA tested since then. They actually term my DNA as superior, which I thought was strange for a scientific classification. But the University of Utah insisted that people born before this date may not have had the right vaccinations or combination or whatever. And I tried to say, well, I'm all vaccinated. You guys are denying me my ability to sign up for classes because you're making some wild claim without any foundation. And they said, well, your other option is to pay more money. They were making me pay to get these shots in order to go to school. Another scam that goes on at the University of Utah. And they said, well, you can get this other shot to test to see if you need our shot. So you get a double thing if you actually do need the shot. But they said, well, it's cheaper just to get the shot and get it over with. That's extortion, plain and simple. And they use the facade of being medical doctors. And sure enough, I got the shot, and the test on the skin showed that Sure enough, I didn't need it. God. And so when you have all these problems with medical doctors, people get suspicious, people get critical, and so America was ripe for the anti-vaxxers. And sure enough, not too long after the anti-vaxxer campaign that got many more mothers in the United States refusing to vaccinate their kids for measles specifically, and sure enough, kids get the measles, and kids are dropping like flies. Our government just plays games with us. And so now with climate change, we've got a worst case scenario on the brink. Not only do we have to worry about the added ice or the added water to the oceans, which would increase the rise in methane gas, which would destroy biological life on Earth. We also have diseases that will be released before the methane gas attack. Unbelievable. Our government are purposely trying to exterminate human life. It may just be that they're wanting population control to kill off enough of the populace so that there's less of a carbon footprint, thinking that, well, once we kill off enough people, the climate will readjust itself. And PBS, I heard on PBS, it was a year or two ago, and I don't know the wording to find it. I've got it recorded, but I was just, my jaw dropped. On PBS, the guy was saying, oh, we just need to kill off humans to control the climate. Just sick and wrong. We don't realize how bad it is. In Utah, they're purposely poisoning Utahns. When I first moved to Utah, I never lived in the deserts of Utah and had been to Idaho, then to Canada, where it's not a desert. And I came to Utah, got the rashes from the pollution in the air. And your body has to adjust over time before you climatize to the pollution. But that's the cause of it. It's not the dry air. You don't get rashes from dry air. And of course in Utah they are in full denial mode and force the news, local news, to not cover that fact that pollution causes the skin rashes and irritations, as well as the breathing problems. And so, yeah, I was subjected from my youth having breathing problems, and so Utah is not the place for me. But I can't get out. I'm trapped. And so I'm bullied by the Mormons here and poisoned by the church's control over the government. But that's why they're doing it. They're exterminating Mormons to replace Utah with rich people. And it's a con game because the poison's not going to go away. So they're going to bring in all these rich people who are just stupid. and they're thinking, oh, I can go skiing. You know, I can watch Sundance. And then the first thing you do when you get to Utah is you're scratching up blood all over the place because of the irritation from the pollution. I had it, my kids had it. Moved down here with the family before the first wife decided to abandon me. She was a lotion user anyway, so she was able to take on more lotion to help her. But my grandmother moved from Idaho when her Alzheimer's was now recognizable for other people, as she gave away her kids' inheritance. I did get the two chairs that were in the living room, the rocker and the other one, but my dad's since thrown them away. So I don't have the inheritances of my grandparents anymore. But yeah, it was bad. You know, she's got Alzheimer's, and she's forced to come live with my parents as they can't afford to put her in a nursing home. And she's scratching furiously on her legs, causing bleeding. And that's why. And then it got so bad with the Alzheimer's that they had enough to put her in there for a little while. And because the nursing home is a privately run nursing home, they purposely kill people in order to generate continuous profit. And so my grandmother only lasted 2 weeks in there. Yeah, and I've mentioned in another video I've done like a week or so ago, where the pollution also causes the dry skin. So I know when the pollution's at its highest peak. So it's usually right before a rain, and during the rain even, as my body tries to acclimatize to the moisture. So it's after the rain that I get better. And yet they have Head and Shoulders that's right there on the ball for all those who have been polluted and getting dry skin as a result. Just all business scams. They know how it works, and they're purposely deceiving the public, thinking they've got the solution, and it just generates more money for them. When I learned that I didn't need Head and Shoulders, I could use regular shampoo, and then I just needed to be careful during the high pollution times. Unbelievable. So the poisoning of America. Alright. I guess I'm still kind of traumatized by the loss of Kobe and his daughter. Finding out that they were going to their little basketball camp that he set up. Well, I hope the Bryant family knows of everybody's love for them. As a Southern Californian, the Lakers were my basketball team. And so even though Kobe wasn't playing when I was big on the Lakers, that was back in the days of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, and so Yeah, Kobe was a later addition when I left California. But as a true fan, you always stick with your team no matter where you move. But it's sad for any situation. I mean, they're not even mentioning the other 7 people. Who were the other 7? And Utah has got the flu and the coronavirus from China. Had 2 military cadets die of the flu, different strands even. So it's not the same strand that killed them. Things are getting bad, and they're only getting worse. I gotta wear shades.